Pimpin', 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 pimpin'. I told you, motherfuckers. It ain't just me. We don't play pimp. We ain't no pimps. But we don't play pimp. These motherfuckers going nuts. And a lot of people been talking about this shit. Hey, it ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. It ain't our fault that y'all a bunch of wicked ass motherfuckers. It ain't my fault. It ain't our fault that we've been warning y'all about all this shit. And now all this shit is manifesting in their motherfucking face. And I ain't just talking about the things that's spiritual that people can't believe in until it gets in their face and fuck their ass up. I'm talking about the so-called average shit. For years, we've been talking about Illuminati, government, them worshiping the devil. We talked about financial collapse. All this shit. And even these wicked motherfuckers, of course, has been telling these wicked ass so-called average people about what's happening and what's coming. Whether it's fucking September 11th, any type of false flag event, all of this shit, including the coronavirus, yeah. They can't hear. Now all this crazy shit is manifesting and all these dumb dummies who thought we was play pimping freaking out. And we are the fakes, the shields, the blasphemers, and all that shit. Yeah. It's your ass, Mr. Postman. And like I said, I wouldn't talk half as much shit as I do if these motherfuckers wasn't fucking with me. But they keep fucking with me, so I'm gonna keep talking shit about their ass. It's Judgment Day, motherfuckers. You niggas thought I was play pimping. Now, with that being said, before I make another long ass introduction, that video, Shapeshifting, the 144,000 and the tribe of the Panther. That video was cut in half. I just decided to stop it at that 40-something minute mark. You know, because niggas got things to do and they got to hurry up and go get their chicken. So I just decided to stop that shit right there. What I'm about to show y'all now, I'm going to just take clips from it, whatever the case may be. And this is not really part two. I mean, it's part two, but it's a continuation of the shit that I had already recorded. And the great thing about it is, because I did decide to stop at that time, instead of making a video that was an hour and a half long or something, because I decided to stop, now I can add some more shit to it. So I'm gonna show some clips from that shit that I had already recorded and add some new shit to it. And I'm also telling y'all this because, like I said, this is a continuation of shit that I had already recorded. So this particular part of this video, I'm not really talking about shapeshifting that much. I'm gonna talk about it. I probably end up just saying it again, like, right now, and show y'all later and shit about a couple of shape-shifting incidents concerning me. But this video is a continuation of shit that I already recorded. It's a continuation from the first video. So this part two is mostly about who we are, why and how we gods, messiahs, and all that shit. And talk about some spiritual shit, so on and so forth. More details about what's going on with all this shit. And, like I said, do my best to explain how that it is that we, tribe of Judah, tribe of the Panther, 144, how that it is that we are God. And yeah, that's it. Oh, one more thing. I saw Zack Snyder's Justice League. And the only thing I got to say is I knew that big black nigga, Darkseid, wasn't gonna have a major role in this shit as far as, you know, like on the level that what's his name? Thanos. You know, as far as seeing him and how much they show him and all that shit. I knew Darkseid wasn't gonna be a major part of this particular movie. Cause it was basically, what's his name? Steppenwolf. That was the main so-called bad guy in this shit. Working for Darkseid, basically. But with that being said, yeah. Darkseid did his thing. And all I got to say is, big black nigga coming to get you.
Shalom and all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. And I just wanted to share real briefly about a dream that I had last night, and it was very strong and vivid. I've been working a lot these last couple of weeks, and as far as I can see, it looks like there's no end to it. We got people at the workplace dropping like flies, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to do a whole lot of stuff. I've been reading here and there, praying 3 times a day, praying for strength, stamina from the Most High. And the Most High has been very gracious, man. The Most High has put it on people's hearts to, bring food. He's had women bring me food. And I'm like, it's got to be the Most High, because I'm thinking, man, this is really strange. But it's just the Most High, man. If your heart's right, man, the Most High will work with you, man. The Most High is truly gracious and merciful. But to get real briefly on the dream was basically about having spiritual power. And in the dream, there was like clips of, fighting Edomites, man. And I'm talking about, man, the stuff that I was doing in its dream was like Superman. It's like that new Superman that was coming out. I'm talking about flying at will. I seen, Akim, punching Edomites through walls. I mean, and doing like Hulk, like Incredible Hulk type stuff. I mean, it was real, man. It was so real. When I woke up, I was still kind of like in motion, man. It was that real. And, I hope, praise Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, it wasn't a pizza dream or something like that, or, too much, Kool-Aid or something like that. I really don't believe it was. It kind of lines up with the scripture. But man, I tell you what, man, I feel if you're an Edomite and these other nations, I feel sorry for you, because what I saw, man, I saw Israel wrecking shop. Israel was messing, was a world-class wrecking crew, man. Esau ain't ready for the fury and the power that Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai is getting ready to release, man.
Getting into this about how it's gonna be, it's more than one Messiah, and how can we be God and all this shit. What is it? First Thessalonians and First John, something like that, I believe. It's like number of scriptures that people have put together from different books within the Bible, and they talk about the rapture, right? And it says that Messiah's coming. We're going to be caught up in the clouds. And we're going to see him as he is, because we will be just like him. the Messiah in the clouds, and we will be just like him. Because you, black man, black woman, the tribe of the Panther, and the 144,000, you are the motherfucking Messiah. The Messiah race. You are a race of Messiahs. A race of saviors. These motherfuckers, like I said, been murdering the shit out of us and setting us up, doing everything they can to keep so-called black men away from the black woman and fuck up all kinds of shit. You know, the usual Illuminati, satanic, Luciferian, tricky-dicky shit, you know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Let me tell y'all something that's gonna blow y'all motherfucking mind. And remember, this ain't just about me. This is about y'all as well. In one of Bobby Hemmitt's lectures, he asked the audience, what is the murder capital of America? Now, you know, as soon as he said that, I said Gary, Indiana. And yep, that's what he said. He said the murder capital of America is Gary, Indiana. Now, this lecture could have been in the 90s or something like that. But check this out. He said, you want to know why Gary, Indiana is the murder capital of America? He said, Gary, Indiana is the murder capital of America because of Michael Jackson. Now, okay, first of all, this is Michael Jackson. This motherfucker right here, this is a goddamn created creature clone motherfucking pedophile piece of shit. That ain't Michael Jackson. This is Michael Jackson. Now, let me continue. Like I said, Bobby Hemmett said that Gary, Indiana is the murder capital of America because of Michael Jackson. And in case y'all don't know, Michael Jackson is the most popular entertainer in the history of the music business. And Bobby Hemmett, so many words, he went on to say that because Michael Jackson, this nigga, so fucking successful, so loved, the most successful motherfucker in the history of the music business. You can't do that shit unless you draw on some motherfucking major motherfucking energy. And y'all know I'm always talking about this motherfucking energy. I mean, come on now. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Now, this area that I'm living in, Gary, Indiana, and driving in the car, I'd probably drive over to Michael Jackson's house in less than 10 minutes. This area in Gary, Indiana is special like a motherfucker when it comes to this energy. Motherfucking sun, the way it rises and sets, you know, motherfucking moon, Big Dipper, 3 stars of Orion, Dog Star Sirius. You talking about some perfect alignment type shit around here. It's some hardcore energy, hardcore shit going on around here. And Michael Jackson couldn't have done what he did without drawing on that energy. So check this out. In so many words, Bobby Hemmett said, the reason why Gary, Indiana, you know, and talking about the Michael Jackson shit and all that shit, becoming so successful and powerful and all this shit, this nigga, Bobby Hemmett said the reason why Gary, Indiana is the murder capital of Gary, Indiana, is because powers that be, Illuminati. He said they wanted to suppress that energy as much as they possibly could to try to prevent some other nigga some type of Messiah figure from rising up in that particular area. Bobby Hemmett, in so many words, would always say that people on earth would always say that God is up high, but the angels say that God is on earth. And of course, this freaks people out. You know, of course, you know, you call yourself God and all this shit, you know. But I, of course, say this all the time about this energy, what it really is. All this shit that's going on, the positive and the negative energy, it fucks us up so fucking much because of who we are. Gods. The Messiah race. When we take on the positive energy, we got to deal with the negative energy as well. It's just who we are. And with all this energy going around, flowing through us and all kinds of shit, all kinds of shit gonna be going on with us, including sometimes shapeshifting, whatever the case may be. Emotions all over the place. Next thing you know, we ain't getting along with each other, all kinds of shit. We always looking out there. And, you know, like I will say Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Some people will say Yahweh. Some people will say Creator, Mother Universe, Source. Source. So I'm just going to say Source right now, because the reason why we are God is because we come directly from the source. Of course, this has been talked about before, but I'm gonna talk about it again a little bit before, so people understand this shit. How is it that we are God, and we always looking out there and we talk about the energies? Remember, God, source, the source. God is omnipresent, everywhere. That's literally true. And how is it that we, black man, black woman, 144, how is it that we are God? Because, again, we come directly from the source. Directly, we are the source. We, like I said so many times, we are individuals as far as, like my brother said, we just different expressions of God. Like I said, we just have our own free will, not in this reality, but we have our own free will, personality, likes, dislikes, and all this shit, But we the same motherfucker. This is why you keep hearing people say that we were not created. We always existed. So as far as us being God, the source of all, it's hard for people to comprehend. Obviously, we're in this low vibrational reality, born and raised with these wicked ass motherfuckers, born and raised in these lies and all this shit. Memory loss. So as far as us being God, the source, how is that? And like I said, people talked about this shit. So let's say this is this piece of paper, for example. This is the source. God, creator, whatever you want to say. This is the source. As an individual that's watching this video, I'm talking to you. This is the source right here, this paper, and this right here is you. This is you. Source is over here. So what are you? You are the source. Now look at it like this. This is a piece of paper. This is a piece of paper. This is a piece of paper too. It's the same. You just came from the source. That's it. So you are actually the source. You just an individual with your own personality, free will, and all that shit. A different expression of God. That's why they say God is on earth. That's why they say God is omnipresent. So on and so forth. This is how this is one of the reasons why we so fucking connected. Because we are connected. We the same motherfucker. And this is why, like I said, we've been attacked, scrutinized, beat down, and all this shit, murdered, and put in these situations where we can't be successful in this wicked ass world. So all of that fucking energy and all that shit that's coming, and so-called planets, stars, whatever you want to talk about, this energy, you know, the Messiah coming, that fire coming, all that shit, like I said, all that shit that's coming, that's us. That's our higher selves. So who the fuck are we right now in this reality? We are the soul. We got our higher self that's coming, and this energy that we've been dealing with a number of years, you know, is, like I said, coming through in increments. That's part of it. As we wake up a little bit by a little bit, you know. But, you know, I'm always doing this, you know, like most people. Just looking out, you know, different dimension or whatever you want to say. But you have our higher self, and you have us here, the soul. And like I said, ain't nothing real in this fucking reality, this third dimensional bullshit. Ain't nothing real about this shit other than the energies, spirits, and the soul. The soul is asleep. So I know it's hard for people to understand this shit. This has been talked about before. This third dimensional bullshit that we in, we actually sleep right now. So when you go to bed at night and start dreaming, actually you waking up. Because again, this is the third dimension, this physical shit. And when you go to sleep and start dreaming, that's the fourth dimension. That's a higher dimension. That's the spirit world. That's creator dimension. So everything is always backwards, you know. That's how Satan works. Everything is backwards. So actually, so-called dream world, you actually more awake there because that's a higher dimension, fourth dimension. When you come back here, you wake up back into this third dimension, two eyes is open. You actually sleep. This physical reality is the real dream world. So this is what's happening, y'all. Pay attention to this shit. And this is also related to how come we know certain things, regardless of the fact we didn't hear nobody talk about it or read it in a book or anything. But niggas don't read anyway. But listen to this shit, y'all. Listen to this. Me, you, right now in this third dimensional reality. We are not the fucking physical body. And the identity of who we are is not who we are either. And many of us have been slowly waking up to who we truly are over the years based on spiritual downloads and all this shit, this energy and shit, you know, getting closer to the end. So we in this reality is the soul, and the soul is eternal. Our higher self is in a different dimension, you know. Our higher self is our true identity, who we really are. All the knowledge, power, and all this shit. We are living in multiple realities, multiple different realities simultaneously. And these other realities and other dimensions, they've been collapsing. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So here in this reality, we are the soul. But you have in another dimension, our higher self, our true identity. What's going to happen is us, the soul, is going to come together with our higher self. Bam. And then we're going to wake up. Because like I said, right now, with your two eyeballs open, we really sleep right now. So this is what's going to happen. Our soul is going to come together with our true identity, our higher self, and we're going to wake up. And that energy, that fire, all that shit that's coming that everybody's talking about, that shit that's coming, that's us. Now, when this happens, our soul comes together with our higher self, our physical body, and our identity of who we think we are in this reality will disappear. Because in this reality, we've been playing the role of the weak, memory loss, not knowing exactly who we are based on a whole lot of shit, you know. It's not real, our identity. And like I said, many of us, we've been getting little glimpses of who we are as we wake up. But this identity and this reality of who we are and our physical body, of course, is going to be gone. Our soul and our higher self is going to merge. Boom, we're going to wake up and our physical body and the identity of who we think we are in this reality is fucking gone. Now, talking about us simultaneously living in parallel realities, different dimensions, simultaneously. And I said that this is what's been happening, that these realities and shit of us and other realities and all this shit is been collapsing. When that shit happens, that other us in another reality, and it really, really, really is us. We omnipresent. We are gods. So when another version of us in another reality collapses, we in this reality take on that energy. That movie by Jet Li called The One, they showed you that in this movie. Now, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. How the enemy does everything that we do, but they do it in a twisted, satanic, Luciferian, demonic way. In this movie, Jet Li, he, you know, like I said, different realities. He's playing these different characters, you know, himself. You got all these different versions of Jet Li in these multiple realities, living simultaneously at the same time. So check this out. One of the versions of Jet Li in a reality he was going to other dimensions, murdering the other version of him. I say murder because, remember, I'm talking about these what these wicked motherfuckers do too. Always gotta do the shit that we do. One of the versions of Jet Li would go to another dimension to murder his other self so that he can take on that energy and get stronger. Yeah. And he was doing that, going around all the different realities, murdering himself so he can take on that energy. This is what's happening to us as well, but we let it happen naturally. They showed this shit in, you know, these energy vampire motherfuckers. You know, they always sucking the energy out of you. What was that movie, Dr. Sleep? You know, they gotta murder motherfuckers to take on energy. And I say that Jet Li in this movie was murdering motherfuckers because they always gotta do what we do, but they gotta do it in a satanic way because they rebelled. Or you can say they disconnected themselves from source. You know, they are no longer God. They disconnected themselves from source. And like that video I was watching, you know, so they disconnected themselves from source and went through this Luciferian experiment. Yeah. So they have to do what we do in order to survive, but because they disconnected themselves from source, they have to do it in a satanic Luciferian way. So, talking about us living in parallel realities simultaneously, when the dimension of that we are living in another reality collapses, we take on that energy. So we allow this shit to happen naturally, like it's supposed to. So that's what's happening to us right now. And this is why when these energies come through and we just all of a sudden know something, it's because those dimensions, those other versions of us in those dimensions is collapsing, going away, and we take on that motherfucking energy. So, you know, we living in parallel realities simultaneously to experience everything and gain all this knowledge and all this shit. As it comes to us, we just know shit just like that. And we don't really think nothing about like how I know this. It's like out of the clear blue sky. We are connected to the other versions of us anyway because it's really us. This is why even if we just know something, we just don't really think about, hey, how did I know this shit? It happens naturally, and we got that connection with our other self because that's us anyway. So once that other version of us will merge with us here, it's just, hey, I know this because, hey, you knew it anyway because you just hadn't yet remembered at this time until that other version of you merge with you here in this reality. This happens to us all the fucking time. This is why these energies be coming through like this. It's part of our higher self, of course, with these energies and all this shit going on. But a nigga like me, sometimes I will actually see the shit happen. So one day, I had a so-called dream. And I know many of you know about when you have a dream, sometimes you can see yourself, you know. You have a dream and you see yourself over there, you know, that's fourth dimension. So one day I had a so-called dream and I saw myself looking directly at me. And that shit freaked me the fuck out. So I bagged up and shit, fell on the ground and shit, you know. You know, in that dream, I was in the backyard, right here, in, you know, back of his house, as usual. So one more time in this dream, the other motherfucker that I'm looking at, me, looking directly at me, and it freaked me out, and I bagged up and fell back to the ground. So here I am in a dream, so-called dream. That other version of me was looking right at me, mad the motherfucker. And then I bagged up and fell on the ground and shit, backyard, and woke up. Now check this out. When I woke up in this reality, when I woke up, I came outside and walked in the backyard. And within 10-15 seconds after I walked in the backyard, I found myself standing in the exact same spot that other me was standing in, looking at me all mean and shit. I was standing in the exact same spot, and I had that same mean look on my face. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? And when I was thinking about this yesterday, I said to myself, it would have been funny if in this reality, when I was standing in the backyard with that mean look on my face, it would have been funny if I looked over there and saw me laying on the ground all scared, But then when I thought about it, I was like, God damn, I see what the fuck just happened. So remember, in this so-called dream, listen to this shit, y'all. In this so-called dream, I saw the other version of me looking at me all mean and shit. And it scared the shit out of me, and I fell back and went to the ground and shit. And when I woke up in this reality, I came outside and I was standing in the backyard with that same mean look on my face. So what the fuck is that? If y'all don't understand what I said, sorry. Just rewind. So as far as what the fuck was I finna say? I gotta get my notes. Oh yeah. That talking about this shapeshifting. Yeah, the only demons, and why the fuck do they always gotta have the good shit, But anyway, can't do shit. They take everything from us, and because they fuck it up, twist it up, make it demonic, we can't do it, But anyway, talking about shapeshifting. Like I said, I've done this shit before, and what I'm about to tell y'all, I've heard other people talk about this as well. I always talk about these energies and shit. This happened years ago. One day I felt so fucking good and shit. Major energy that came through. I'm on cloud 9 type shit. Really feeling good. Just like I'm not even here. And I walked into the bathroom, and when I looked in the mirror, I couldn't look away. It was like I was looking at somebody else. And I'm not the first person who said this. It was like I shapeshifted, in a sense, because my overall head was wider, a little rounder. Yeah, I talk about that square jaw. I told y'all, big black niggas coming to get you. Glorified bodies. My head was bigger, a little rounded, and I had this glow on my face. kind of like they talk about a woman who's pregnant who has a glow on her face. I just couldn't stop looking at my shit. I shapeshifted. I couldn't stop looking at myself. And I've heard a number of people talk about this shit. And I'm just looking at myself. I look like me, but it's like I shapeshifted. Shapeshifted, hey. I looked like I had that big ass head, that big ass chin. Hebrew nigga, glorified body. So when I got, probably looked at myself, staring at myself in the mirror for about a minute and a half or whatever, I just casually walked off and continued to walk around in this blissful state. So once again, all that was another major energy shift, another collapse of another version of me, and all this, like I said, our higher self energy and all this shit coming through. And when this shit happens, these type of things will happen. And especially on that level, once again, it's like, it's no big deal, because the other versions of us, higher self, obviously us here in this reality is connected. That's us. So when it happens and we gain this knowledge, something strange happens out of clear blue sky, it's like it's no big deal, because our higher self, other versions of us, that is us. So when we all of a sudden got some knowledge that we just out of the clear blue sky, it's like we already knew it, because we do already know it. So when we have all these other versions of us in these realities and shit, it will just take us to another level, and it just be like, it ain't no big deal for us. Because anything that, when we getting this information from our other selves and all this shit, like I said, and higher self, we get this information, it's like it's no big deal. Because it's us. It really is us. And like I said, the enemy has to do the same shit that we be doing, but they always got to do it in a satanic Luciferian way, because they disconnected themselves from source. Now, that shapeshift that I did, obviously I had already shapeshifted before I looked at myself, but that shapeshift, obviously that was done in this physical reality, the third dimension. The other time that I shapeshifted was in my so-called dream. But this shit is better and more important, because that's the spirit world. And that shit is more real than this shit. So in this dream, so-called dream, when I shapeshifted, check this out. When this shit happened, as usual, I'm surrounded by all these motherfucking demons. But, none was going on. They just hanging around trying to be slick. They don't look like demons. They look like humans. Humans is demons, in my opinion. But anyway, these motherfuckers just hanging around me and ain't nothing going on. And I'm getting ready to wake up. And like I always say, these demons that be hanging around me in my so-called dreams, they know when I'm getting ready to wake up. And that's when they start fucking with me, just before I wake up. So I can react some way so they can suck the energy off of me. Yeah. So, I'm just getting ready to wake up. And these demons was getting ready to start fucking with me so they can try to suck some energy out of me before I go. So, just before them motherfuckers started fucking with me, y'all know what I did? I shapeshifted into a motherfucking eagle. And I flew away so fucking fast that when I woke up, my eyes opened and I heard. As I mentioned a number of times, I've been on YouTube since 2016. And since 2016, I've always talked about my dreams and these demons in my so-called dreams. And as time went on, I said that eventually what I'm seeing in my so-called dreams was going to manifest in this fucking reality. And as many of you know, late 2020, I showed all them motherfucking demons around the moon. Didn't just show images, I showed them motherfuckers manifesting. In motion. My dreams came true. So, if my dreams came true, these demons in a spiritual form over in that fourth dimension, they came through to our reality, what else is coming? Everything. And that includes your supernatural gifts, powers, and all that shit. In other words, any of you, no matter what color you are, you have these dreams flying through the sky, that's what you're going to be doing in reality. You've had these dreams running through the streets real fast, like the Flash, that's what you're going to be doing in this reality. In other words, real life. Because this fake reality is collapsing. And we're moving into the spirit world. We're moving into the real world. So we have people in denial about this shit. Obviously, because they're some wicked motherfuckers. They have to be in denial because the truth scares the shit out of them. And they know that the truth is we are about to fuck their asses up. My niggas, why do we always gravitate toward the so-called bad guy in these movies? Yeah, I'm always talking about that big black nigga, Thanos, for example. But here's another example. Scarface. Bad guy. Drug dealer. Murderer. Wicked. That's who Scarface is. But a righteous man, especially a nigga, we always gravitate toward these type of people in these movies. And niggas love Scarface. Why? We righteous men. Why the fuck do we like Scarface? Why do we love that motherfucker? He's wicked, right? We gravitate toward him because Scarface is cool as shit. He's hardcore. He don't take no shit. He got a swag about him. Acting just like a nigga. That's why we gravitate towards these wicked ass motherfuckers in these movies. Because they copying off of us. They tell their story, these wicked people, they tell the story of the Antichrist and put our image on that shit. Like I said, they take everything from us. And this is why average nigga, we always gravitate towards the bad guy. And of course, like Thanos, for example, and Darkseid, these type of characters, they supposed to be the antagonist. They supposed to be the bad guy. But again, remember, these stories are being told from the perspective of the enemy. There's always going to be some twists and turns about how they do this shit. But in reality, Thanos, Darkseid, they are portraying God. They are portraying us. Yet, like I said, remember, from the perspective of the enemy, we are the motherfucking bad guys. Are we some wicked, unrighteous motherfuckers? No. But in this reality, in Satan's kingdom, we are the motherfucking bad guys. From their perspective, we are the bad guys because this is their world. They know who righteous, especially when it comes to these fallen angels. They know what the fuck is up. And people need to understand that them motherfuckers only got one goal. It ain't about money and power and all that shit. All that shit is just shit to be playing with these idiots, keeping everybody under control and all that shit. These fallen angels, they only got one goal and one goal only, and that is to destroy you. Their one goal, number one goal, is to destroy as many of God's people as they can before their asses get destroyed. Bitter ass bitches. So, what more can I say about all this shit? Just got through talking to one of my brothers, man of God, one of my subscribers, going through some major shit. This is what's happening to all of us in some way, shape, or form. And like I told him, and of course he knows, the reason why things are getting so bad, the reason why things is getting so fucking horrible is because we've reached the end. Exactly when that shit is going to happen, I don't know. I hope and I pray that it's going to be this year, but we'll see. But one thing's for sure, like I said over and over again, this shit can't last forever and it won't last forever. And the way we got all these demon in the flesh, wicked ass pieces of shit pointing their fingers at us, accusing us of shit that's true about them, following us around, calling us crazy, so on and so forth. It's because, like I said, they can't handle the truth. They can't accept the truth. And they know the truth is we are getting ready to fuck their wicked asses up.